Me and Tyler can run the show. I can host the show. That's what we can do. Tyler, let's shift gears a little bit here, and we'll keep it in the Big Ten. Your take on Purdue and how they look tonight in that matchup. For me, I said this earlier on SiriusXM. If Purdue's able to win this game, they can be back in the category in terms of the top teams in the Big Ten. And we could probably put them back in the category of a team that can win the national championship. And they handled their business. Fletcher Lawyer took a ton of threes, but he made 4 of them. Trey Kaufman-Rim was terrific. Braden Smith was terrific. Tyler, are you with me in terms of they are back in the conversation of a team that can win the national championship this year?
No, I'm not there with you. I think they need a little more consistency. They almost tricked this game. If Nebraska could rebound a little bit and dominate the paint, I think they get a dub against Purdue. And Nebraska's my squad. I love the way they play. But the difference to me tonight in this game was the ability for Purdue to make plays when they needed to make plays down the stretch. And they dominated the post. I thought Clef down the stretch got a lot of big rebounds for him when he had that and one. That was kind of a dagger. But, Purdue didn't really close this one out. They blew a substantial lead in the second half. They let Nebraska back in it. That's not what contending teams do come tournament time. When they have a team down, they step on their throat. And I know it's tough on the road in conference play, but to me, this says a lot about Nebraska, their ability to fight back from a big lead against a team like Purdue. I just wish they would have rebounded a little bit down the stretch and controlled the paint a little bit better, and I think they get a win there.
Yeah. First of all, Matt, shout out for jumping in there and taking over those hosting duties for about 20 seconds there. You crushed it. Clearly not your first rodeo. You've been here before. Next man up mentality here. I thought that this matchup, I said at the earlier today in a preview with Goodman that I thought that Purdue would win this game because I think the matchup is advantageous for them because Nebraska is going to put 2 on the ball. And then I thought that they would be able to hit those short rolls and kind of whip the ball around. I thought it was really impressive, especially in the first half, how quickly the ball moved for Purdue, Matt. Like, it was going side to side. There was no dribbles. They weren't hesitating. The whole thing with Nebraska's defense is they want to keep the ball on one side of the floor. And if you can swing it quickly, you're going to get open looks. And I thought early on Purdue was making those looks. And then they went for a stretch in the middle of the game, late second half, late first half, early second half, where they couldn't get one to go down. And then late in the game, Jack Benter hit a big one. CJ Cox hit 2 big ones. And if they would have made their free throws, this game would have never gotten to overtime. 11 for 20 from the line is not going to find a way to get it done. But I thought this was a sign that both of these teams are really capable, Matt. I'm in on both of them.
Yeah, I feel like a win like this for Purdue can almost catapult them. Like the momentum of winning on the road, winning the way they did, only shooting 28% from the three-point line. I just feel like you can build off this. Like, going into the next game, going into the rest of the season, you're the preseason #1 team in the country. So the expectations are the hardest thing to deal with in sports. And Tyler knows that better than any of us on this call right now. Like, it's the hardest thing to deal with in sports. They get a big one next week on Tuesday at home against Michigan. But they get Iowa on the road this weekend. If they're able to win that game, and I'm going to the game in Mackey next weekend for NBC. I can't wait to be there. I just feel like a win like this on the road against a very, very good Nebraska team that is a second weekend team in the NCAA tournament. It's like, okay, this is where it turns for Purdue. This is where it goes back to preseason #1 in the country. Braden Smith being healthy. We know he knocked knees in that game against USC. Has he been fully healthy? Fletcher Lawyer leads their team in shot attempts today. 20 shots. Seems like a lot of shots. 17 threes. Man, that's unbelievable that he even got 17 threes off. But a win like this, man, it can turn you.
And you know what it was? You know what it was, Matt?
Direction.
Yeah, you know what? It wasn't just the win, right? Like, they built this big lead and they blew the lead.
Yeah.
Like they were up 14,
found a way to win.
42 seconds.
Think about if they lost this game.
Lead. Yeah, they gave it all away.
And then, you can go the other way.
Yeah, and then they were up by 5 in OT, and they gave that away, and they found a way to win. And when you look at what's coming up with their upcoming schedule, put everything into context for the Purdue season, right? They had just lost 3 in a row, and their bounce back wins were at Maryland, which like Maryland's clearly packed it in for the season, and then an ugly one at home against Oregon, right? And you go on the road today, you lose this game. Here's what you got coming next: at Iowa Saturday, Michigan home Tuesday, Indiana rematch of the rivalry next Friday, and then Michigan State at home on Fifth. Like you lose this one, and it could have spiraled. And they found a way.
I think we lost Rob again. Do I have to take over the hosting duties again? We lost him again. But Tyler, don't you feel like a win like this can shift them when it wasn't going well? And to Rob's point, look at their schedule coming up. Can this shift them and get them in a direction that's super positive to get to an Elite Eight?
You know, my issue with giving Purdue confidence or momentum is this is an experienced team, and when you have vets like Fletcher Lawyer, Braden Smith, Trey Kaufman-Wren, those are veteran players, and for me, you shouldn't. You know, when you've had some years, you don't need big time wins to really get momentum and confidence. You should have it. And I know that, you know, being the preseason number 1 ranked team in the country comes with a lot of expectations, and they really don't have, you know, any bad losses, but they've been a little too inconsistent. And Fletcher Lawyer to go 4 for 17, I mean, good God. I mean, how many threes can you get up? No, I mean, I never passed it, and I didn't get 17 or 20 shots up. And those are threes. You know, the one thing I will say is I do like Clef. I think he dominated down low. And I think, you know, the one thing that I take away is they dominated the interior. And they out-rebounded Nebraska by a substantial amount. I think it was 54-38, which is a big deal to me. I know that everyone wants to tout guard play and they want to hype them up. I think rebounding wins games, and I think that has a lot to do with Michigan State's tournament success. Rebounding and playing physical and playing hard defense, to me, wins. And, you know, I think that Purdue dominated one area of the game that dictates winning, and they controlled the interior, and they rebounded, and they got second-chance looks, and that gave them big buckets down the stretch. And they were able to close out defensive possessions with a rebound and go to the other end. And whenever you dominate somebody on the offensive rebounding, you get that more of an opportunity. You get more shots and more chances to score, which in, you know, the long run of things, you know, analytically, that's going to play out in your favor.
All right, Rob, I'm taking over the show, by the way, just so you know.
It's your world, man. I'm just living in it.
I'm the host now. I'm the captain now.